What is up, everyone? Sorry for running a little bit late. We had some technical issues. We're going to bring Robert in here in just a second. But yeah, I just wanted to let you all know that we were sorry we were late. And introducing Robert Wilde.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah. Who are you again? We are 9 streams deep into this game.
Woo! We've got to be about halfway done, right? Oh.
So
we got to be close.
I guess it depends on what you consider the halfway point. I've always considered it the shift in playable characters. Even though it's not an even split because you have that like epilogue section. But we are on day 3 of Ellie. So we're about to the halfway point if you consider that the halfway point.
Nice. And granted, like obviously the pacing depends on your choices as the player and like how much time you take. I feel like the Abby days are shorter though. Like
I don't think
so. But that could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's never felt like that to me, but we'll see how it plays.
Yeah, I haven't replayed this one as much as I've replayed the first one.
Yeah.
Dina?
Hey, look, Jesse? More red lighting.
Nice.
What are those two?
Are you ready for From Beyond tomorrow?
Ready? No. Looking forward to it? Yes. I'll probably rewatch it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I always watch them like right before we go live. Oh, I tried this with Noah. I'm going to try it with you as well. You don't have to watch, but I'm going to stream it to Discord as well so that you can better see, like, keep up with what's going on. There you go.
Interesting. It seems to be working.
That way your commentary is not like 5 minutes behind what we're actually doing.
That's part of the charm of it.
Oh.
There's nothing better than hearing you react to something and having the anticipation of seeing what you were reacting to.
Is she pregnant?
Will we get another glitch? Who knows?
Yeah.
I get why you came out here. But we gotta take her back. She needs real care and she's not gonna get that.
Yeah, I know. I can't just leave.
You've said this a lot, but Jesse's a very likable guy.
He's out here because of me.
Jesse's awesome.
Maybe you could take her back.
She's not gonna leave without you. Yeah. Screw it. Let's get Tommy. This aquarium that girl told you about. Tommy hasn't found Abby yet. I'll post up there until he does.
And you're good with leaving Dina by herself?
Her orders.
Okay. Let's go tell her we're leaving then.
I'll just meet you up front.
Yeah.
Dina's not looking so good.
She'll be fine. Well, for day 3, are you ready for a new Ellie outfit?
Oh, why not?
Let's do it. Your map showed the aquarium alone.
I don't want to do anything too goofy. Let's just go with her default Seattle outfit.
Sure. Should be
But it
behind this
won't
one.
kick in until our next
Yeah.
gameplay transition.
Does anyone stay dry in this city?
That's fine.
So what have you been watching this week?
Go for it.
I haven't been watching much.
You
Thanks, I
bastard.
still need to rewatch From Beyond. I did go see Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire.
Oh, so how was the best movie of the year?
That's not true.
Thanks.
I thought it was fine.
What did you tell Dean?
It's fun for what it is. It's not something I'm gonna revisit or think about much.
Tell her you knew. That's what you're.
I wasn't.
What a fraud.
This aquarium a wolf base?
So you already saw it? I thought you didn't go to the theater.
No, I haven't seen it
Dad
yet.
was hiding out there.
Should I tell you why they did it?
Yeah. Joel had falling.
I rewatched
No,
the
former Firefly.
all the Ghostbusters except the shitty one.
He was a smuggler, and they disagreed about.
Same actually. I also recently rewatched Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Afterlife. I'm gonna go see
Change anything for you?
Frozen Empire this weekend.
Nice.
I need to get clear on
I
something.
love Ghostbusters.
Find Tom and you're good with
The other Empire movie.
You'll be leaving some of those assholes alive.
Yeah,
Dina should be back. in
more
time.
like in peak.
Okay.
I
Burn?
how's that a burn? You gotta watch Bullfeet.
I do need to get back to that.
God damn it.
Oh, another glitch. It is returned.
Locked.
What, am I a freaking wizard or what?
Let's try it.
Like 5
Yeah,
minutes
you-
ago,
You
totally
did this.
predicted it. I take full credit for it.
Okay.
It's like the characters can see it.
We love
This will be
glitches,
fine.
folks. It's so weird. I rarely get glitches like that, even in games where people like complaining about it being glitchy. But it's happened twice on this game.
Well, we're 2 for 2.
Those computers are also not loading in unless they're supposed to be white.
You ever worried they're gonna
But I don't
come back
think
to
they
Jackson
are.
after us?
What do you mean?
Those are some fancy looking mechs.
In their city.
Because of what they did.
Didn't Abby and her friends come to Jackson because of something Joel did?
This place isn't like Jackson. I mean, Joel and Tommy helped Abby when she got attacked. These people are trying to kill everyone around them. I mean, they shot you on sight, didn't they?
They did.
I like that Ellie still has that conflict of like, I know. Oh god, even Ellie's not loading in correctly. Her hair is way too shiny.
No, she just used a lot of conditioner this morning.
That like
Just-
Dina needs help and like Even Henry. Wait, not Henry. The hell's this guy's name?
Give me a
Ooh,
hand.
Jesse?
Yes. I've been watching too much Psych, apparently.
Jesse?
Through here.
Yeah, because I thought his name was Hank.
Oh, wait.
I just gotta ask.
Oh.
Why didn't she tell me about it? The pregnancy.
Jesse, there's nothing there.
I'm sure she'll tell you about it when we ship out.
It's an illusion.
I'm sure this is gonna end well. Yep, that's some bullshit.
Dina? Jesse?
That's some bullshit. But hey, we're in our new costume now.
Woo! Seems totally worth it.
Dina?
Jaina underscore UO. What is up? How's it going?
Where are those two?
I'll probably edit that out and like make it a short or something.
The last glitch was great.
Says you.
No,
You're not the one that died.
that's true.
Skipping these because we've already watched them. The other thing I hate about this game is each cinematic is its own thing, so you have to skip like 4 in a row.
Come on, help me up.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
So, which of the 3 days in Seattle are your favorite for Ellie?
This one's very good.
Thanks.
Might be the first one, just because I really like the exploring stuff with Dina. Some of it can go on a while, but it's either 1 or 3. Because this one has like the boat stuff and some really good action near the end.
My controller
how
has
they
now
use the-
decided to disconnect. Dude, what is happening tonight?
Yeah, this will be the technical errors stream. Some of this will be salvageable.
You cut enough out, you can fix anything.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
So we're hoping to find Tommy.
I mean, why do you think I'm uploading these as like 30-minute chunks?
Tell her you knew. That's-
Which we're now up to, these will post until November.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be done with Ellie's portion by the end of the year.
I don't think so. Nora said Abby's hiding out there.
You get her to tell you why they did it.
Well, now we can see what these computers are supposed to look like.
Joel
Yeah.
had, falling out with some
And
fireflies.
I'm gonna try to finish the Walking Dead DLC this weekend
Falling out.
before
He
WrestleMania.
was a smuggler. And he
Woo.
was about some
Yeah.
fight broke out, some of them died. Guess they wanted payback.
Logan Paul will
Did
be
that
there.
change anything for you?
Nope.
Everyone's favorite.
I need to get clear on
You
this.
know, so I have no context for him as a like YouTuber or content
Yeah.
creator,
You'll be leaving some of those
but
assholes
he is
alone.
a natural in
I should be back
WWE.
in Jackson.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I've heard he's actually put the work in, so
Yeah, he's the United States champion right now.
Yeah. His escapades in Japan are a good cautionary tale.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad that he's
Of
not
what
going
not
up
to do.
against LA Knight, but it is what it
I
is.
see a light through here.
Jammed?
Hey, look,
Yeah.
it's loading properly.
You ever worried they're gonna come back to Jackson?
Success. Huzzah!
What do you mean?
I mean, we're going through a lot of their people. In their city.
Because of what they did.
Didn't Abby and her friends come to Jackson because of something Joel did?
This place isn't like Jackson. I mean, Joel and Tommy helped Abby when she got attacked. These people are trying to kill everyone around them. I mean, they shot you on sight, didn't they?
Yeah. How long has Dina been this sick?
Only a couple days. When we first got here, she fucked up a bunch of wolves. You'd have been impressed.
I bet. You don't cross that girl.
My favorite part, upgrades.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we've used the shotgun a lot this run.
Yeah, the shotgun was a freaking lifesaver for you in a couple areas last stream.
My problem is I'm not good at stealth because I'm too impatient. I just want to like run up and kill everyone, and that's fine when you're not playing on a permadeath mode.
That's a good point. We do have that bloater coming up, so
Oh fuck!
be prepared for that.
Be prepared. I got a Molotov with its name on it.
That'll do 5% damage.
That'll do, pig. Dude, I watched Babe, the first one, like a million times as a kid. And I'm
think I
kind of
saw it,
worried to
like,
go
once.
back to it.
It's one of George Miller's masterpieces.
It blew my mind when I found out that's who it was.
Yeah, it is an interesting filmography. I remember liking Happy Feet when I was a kid, but I don't know about going back to that one. That doesn't have a great reputation anymore.
Yeah, I remember thinking it was okay when I saw that in theaters.
Through here.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird movie that goes in a couple unexpected directions, and
I just
I don't know. I guess just because it was weird, critics were really high on it at the time,
Why didn't she tell me?
and I haven't heard great things about it recently.
I'm sure.
Isn't that the one that Eric said it's some kind of propaganda?
Possibly. I mean, it kind of is, like, depending on your definition of it. I mean, like I said, that movie gets weird, but I also don't know it super well. I haven't watched it in over a decade.
Is that the one with Robin Williams?
Yes, and I think he plays two roles.
I can't remember if it was that one or that Surf's Up, which also has a penguin.
I don't think he's in that.
Okay, we got two over
I
there.
remember wanting to see that. I remember wanting to see that when I was a kid, but I feel like I didn't miss anything.
Shut it. Take him down. No,
Well, that escalated quickly.
As all good things do. I've also I've been reading some Iron Man. It's pretty good.
Ooh, nice. Is it as good as the amazing animated series?
No, but nothing is.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, watch the 90s Iron Man animated series on Disney Plus. Go into it cold. It's a brilliant work of art.
Oh, did you see that shot?
Do it again. I wasn't looking.
God damn it. No, but I'm reading the Michelini run from the 70s, and it's really good.
Oh,
I'm not really
cool.
an Iron Man guy.
Yeah, there aren't many Iron Man guys.
I feel like that's not true anymore.
These wolves, man.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the comics.
They're at war with this fucked
Yeah.
up cult.
Like, I don't know how many people who like the movie version
Terrifying.
actually read the comics.
Scars is all I've heard them called.
Well, to be fair, though, Marvel makes it, like, impossible to get into their modern comics because they refuse to put out anything of quality.
Yep.
Although, Ultimate Spider-Man, fantastic. 10 out of 10 books so far.
I'm only hearing good things. I just haven't been sold on it personally. Just like with the premise and the direction they're taking it. Like, I'm just not interested, but everyone's liking it, so I keep hearing it's good.
It is wonderful.
It's a bunch of comics.
I don't,
Wait,
to be fair, I don't know if I would like it so much if Spider-Man and in general was in a better place.
Like you, basically.
But when you're just,
Oh,
like, desperate for anything that is readable...
Marvel has been struggling with Spider-Man for
30
25 years.
Have you seen
Yeah, if
what's
you know
happening in
it's a
the
long
new
time.
run?
I remember there was a new character people were really upset about for a minute. I don't remember his name.
Paul.
I haven't read a new Spider-Man. Paul.
Okay.
Everyone's
So
favorite.
I'm going to pitch you the concept of this book, or at least what it was. I don't know what it's like now, but when it started and why people were so pissed. Okay. So Nick Spencer spent his entire run trying to fix Spider-Man. You know, undo One More Day. He ended up undoing Sins Past instead because Marvel editorial got in the way. But he worked on getting Peter and MJ back together, which is what people really wanted, naturally. You know, see Peter grow older, get married, coming of age stuff.
Everyone wants that except for Marvel.
Peter and Mary Jane end up in an alternate dimension. Peter gets sent back to their dimension. Makes enemies out of everyone, the Fantastic Four, Avengers, etc., trying to get her back, only to find out that time moves faster in this alternate dimension. So she moved on with another guy named Paul, had 2 kids who may or may not be real, and basically blames Peter for doing bad things to try to rescue her when he didn't know if she's in danger or not.
Wrapped up here.
And their relationship is set back to 0.
Do you know if she's gonna keep it?
Riveting.
I don't.
Yeah. And then he gets the sins of Norman Osborn.
Does that include banging Gwen?
And turns evil. And goes after her in the black suit because Spider-Man's an incel now.
This mess.
Yay.
Miriam. It's right next to that.
Oh, and
fence
because Norman no longer has the sins of Norman Osborn,
Info.
he's a good guy who works with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man gets his own goblin glider.
Cool.
Doesn't this
I'd
just
buy
sound
that for
riveting?
$1.
Looks like we're swimming.
I've been saying for years, ever since I got more into modern comics and research on what's been going on, catching up on stuff. It feels like no one hates Spider-Man more than Marvel.
No, that's absolutely true.
If you just line up everything with One More Day, Sins Past, it's like, are you guys trying to self-sabotage this character? Because that feels like what the only intention could possibly be.
And I can't help but think it's that when you release books like Renew Your Vows and Ultimate Spider-Man, which are exactly what the fans want, and those books outsell your main book.
Yeah, well, I never read Renew Your Vows. I should have, but that's part of my trepidation with the new Ultimate Spider-Man is Renew Your Vows was a really big thing for a minute, and it just kind of went away. And no one talks about it anymore. It just feels like a footnote. I don't know if anything substantial came from that.
Well, to be fair, I mean, both of them are alternate universe books anyway. Like, nothing big needs to come of them.
Yeah.
And Renew Your Vows especially should have just been a one-shot. Or not like a one-shot, but like a one mini-series. But it got turned into an ongoing, which wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Ultimate is a completely different situation. It's a whole new... It's not just Ultimate Spider-Man in the universe, and they've got one of their best talents in Hickman writing it.
It's true.
But no, I really love the status quo of like a older Peter Parker. Not like, you know, Spider-Man Reign older, but, you know, he's in his 30s and he's married and has 2 kids. Like, that guy trying to become Spider-Man.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll probably wait for it to go on a little longer before I start checking it out, but everyone says it's good.
It's wonderful. It's the only book that I'm, like, subscribed to, for lack of a better term, on Comixology.
Yeah,
but
there
I did
isn't
try
like anything current I'm reading.
But I did try Ultimate Black Panther, and it's interesting. The villain of that is Moon Knight for some reason.
No, weird.
Or not Moon Knight specifically, but Khonshu. Khonshu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's
Playing with the different gods and stuff.
yeah, it's like the Panther God versus the Moon God.
What's the limit is?
This is so much easier when you have backup. That isn't incompetent.
Okay, now that's it.
Like, it's just with all the nonsense that's been going on with Peter,
I think you're right.
in particular for years, I'm in the camp of like, can we just reboot Marvel? Like, you guys had a good run. Like, just start over. Like, what's the point anymore? When something like the new Ultimate Spider-Man, like when that's what people are excited about and talking about, which is this alternate self-contained thing. And I'm not saying like that should be the status quo of like the whole universe. It's just like, does anyone care about everything like from the last 50 years being canon anymore? Like, just all the retcons, and it's like, does it matter? That's the question I'm asking. Like,
Well, and I mean, I can't speak for other books because I don't follow a lot of Marvel's books. But Spider-Man in particular, it's fucked. Like, especially with this new Zeb Low run, or Zeb Wells, I don't know how you come back from that.
yeah, just say it was all a bad dream.
It's lame.
That's your best get out of jail free card. And I mean, granted, I know we've already had to kind of retcon and shift like historical stuff. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like I think like both Iron Man and Punisher were originally like Vietnam era characters with their origins, and then we kind of got away from that over the years. Punisher for sure.
Yeah, but I mean
never read
that's just sliding time scale in comics.
Yeah, which to a degree I understand, but then when you have a character like Magneto and people are still having that conversation of is Magneto too old? Can the Holocaust backstory with him still work? And that's a big one for me, where once you get rid of that or change that, that's the big one where I'm like, then what's the point of this all being canon? Still, just start over. Like when we get to that point, just start over.
But like Iron Man's origin being in Vietnam and Magneto's origin being the Holocaust are two very different things.
Yeah.
One of them is part of the metaphor of the character. Iron Man, it doesn't matter if he starts in Vietnam or World War III, it's the same concept.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I looked up to Joel. What happened to him was messed up.
And with Spider-Man, there's just all this baggage, like since past. It's like it's almost pointless to even like go out of your way to retcon that, just because like the fans have like
Used to think I had
everyone
it.
forgot about it, or just pretended it didn't happen. Like that happens a lot, where it's just up to the fans to say, nope, just ignoring that.
I'm not into your type.
Just don't reference that. Just pretend that didn't happen.
That's obviously what I meant.
The other thing I
back
hate
to
about
this.
day 3 is a lot of these environments start to look the same.
Pretty messed up. Putting
True.
fungus in the kids section.
I do like this little
Carry the same
bookstore
weight.
area with like the cute mushrooms and stuff, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, it's not something these characters would find appealing.
Makes you wonder,
that's
do
a
they
good little
eat
touch.
mushrooms in this post-apocalypse?
It's about the
I wouldn't.
fight off.
Ghosts.
You wouldn't? Man, you cook them in some butter?
Sound like something you'd like.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Okay. What about you, smartass?
You don't put mushrooms in a stew, you fraud.
Mom only had this one kid,
Yeah, why not?
the root child. About this boy who turns into a forest to save his village.
Okay.
And now we're full circle with you walking up an escalator.
This one time, the boy just let the whole village die. It gave me nightmares.
It's dark. That's really sweet she did.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, Optify.
She's a sweetheart. She's gonna go crazy when she hears about this baby. Well,
This place is fucked.
blood's still wet. Let's get back to the street.
Yeah.
133. Game's like, will you fucking upgrade already?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I just really started to just not care about Marvel canon anymore, and like it all being one long epic story, is when the movies started impacting what they were doing in the comics. Like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are actually Inhumans, and they're not Magneto's children anymore. Like all that nonsense. It's like, who cares?
That era was rough. Remember when they canceled Fantastic Four just so that because Fox had the movie rights?
Yep. That wasn't petty at all.
No, that era was so annoying because that was the Inhumans are the real X-Men.
Yeah, they're really pushing those Inhumans for a minute.
Yeah, and then that show flopped.
That was an embarrassing disaster.
Oh,
That was-
embarrassing.
How embarrassing. And granted, I mean, that was Marvel TV, like, that wasn't Marvel Studios proper, but that was still the first, like, big, so the MCU can bleed moment. Because that IMAX premiere was hilarious and a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh god! Shit. Ambush! I think it came from over there!
You have murdered a lot of people in this game.
I have.
There's someone here! Trespass! Wipe it out! Got her! Move it!
You shot Jesse.
Shot the dog too.
You animal.
I am not a human being. I am an animal.
Jackson's down.
I did recently watch David Lynch's Dune for the first time.
Me too. I liked it.
It's pretty fun, but boy, does that third act just speed through everything.
Yeah, no, the third act is the biggest issue, but I think the first two acts are legitimately good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some corny, dated stuff, but I mean, it's paced decently well.
I love that corny dated stuff. I really like the set design and the costumes in that way more than I do the Villanelle.
Yeah, I prefer the look of the Villeneuve one, but I do like a lot of aesthetic things about the Lynch one. The shields are really bad, and they only do them in like one scene.
My problem with the
Like
Villanelle movies is, or at least the first one, because I haven't seen the second one, is it just looks like every generic modern sci-fi movie ever.
That's definitely less of an issue with Part 2. Part 2 really has its own identity, especially with just how they do the Harkonnen stuff. It looks really cool.
But you know what Part 2 doesn't have?
A pug.
Yeah, and Patrick Stewart holding the pug as he charges into battle.
As you would.
Dude, one thing you didn't warn me about when you told me about Psychos is how fucking good that theme song is.
Yeah!
It's so
Tell
good.
ya. It's like one of my favorite TV theme songs. I think I shared that with you before you started watching the show.
I've watched 8 seasons and 2 movies since then. I don't remember.
And I really like how each season there's like 1 or 2 episodes where they get someone else to do a cover of it or do a different twist on it.
Come here. Gotcha.
I like the Tears for Fears one a lot. There's a couple good covers of that song.
Also, I think I'm further justified in being annoyed about the whole Jules finding out. Because they kind of hint at them getting back together and then they just hand wave it under the rug. And then nothing becomes of that ever again. Nobody brings it up. Ever.
Yeah, well, I think I still think that's an important chapter to have. I wouldn't be happy if, like, at this point with the movies and the show, like, if she still didn't know, like, that is a place I still need us
absolutely agree, but you can't just do it and then drop it.
No, that's fair. It also doesn't help that the final season's shortened and then she's written out like halfway through. Like, so it's like she's not even in that many episodes like post that whole storyline.
And
I
it's
still think
really
that's
weird that the final shot of the finale is him proposing, and then they're still not married by the time the first movie comes out.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason for it. It's because he's been looking for the ring.
Yeah, but I don't know if I buy that it took him 3 years to find the damn thing.
Yeah, that's one of those moments. It's different when you're watching it in real time and not, just binging it. But that was one of my favorite cliffhangers in season 6. I think midway through 6 was that episode I like a lot where Sean has that Nintendo DS that's missing, and he's freaking out about it like a child. And then the reveal at the end is, oh, the ring's in it, and he was going to propose to her with it. And I was like, what? And then you fast forward years to like finally getting them married, and it's not that satisfying. It's like, oh, well, we finally did that, I guess. It's just like if the final season had more episodes, and if Juliet was in it more. I mean, that's like a really stereotypical cliche series finale, like if they had gotten them married then, but I don't know. I'm glad we got there eventually, but
Yeah.
the payoff wasn't that great.
Charlotte Flair is in the first movie.
Yes, that is correct. And John Cena has a cameo.
He does. And then they just ignore it in the next one.
And then they completely ignore it. That's fine.
I don't know. That stuff annoys me. If you're gonna do something, you have to pay it off.
Yeah, I think it's just meant to be.
Unless it's a post-credit scene. At that point, then it's dubious if it's like part of the movie or not.
Yeah. Well, it aired with commercials, and I mean that scene really it plays more like an epilogue, not like I don't know. It plays like a post-credit scene, or at least it did to me when I first watched it. But yeah, I got you into that show. You watched it quick, and full spoilers for anyone who has not seen Psych, which is a pretty funny show.
It's all right. I'd give it a like 7.5 out of 10 overall.
I can live with that. Not every episode's great. And I still stand by that. I like how the Juliet knowing Sean's secret. I like how that resolves. Like, correct me if I'm remembering this wrong. I appreciate that she comes to the realization on her own. Like, oh, making you tell the chief that you're not really psychic. Like, that's selfish on my part, and I shouldn't be doing that. And like just the law of averages thing. Like, you still do good as a detective, and I shouldn't take that away from you. If I recall, like she comes to that realization on her own when Sean's like gonna make the choice. So I always liked how that wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that, but then they just hand wave out they're together again.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple
Also,
annoying uncomfortable.
By season 8, he should not be that dumb.
Yeah.
It feels like he regresses instead of progresses.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just love Sean. And that 1 in 7 with Sean and Gus like contaminating the crime scene of his dead boss, like that one's a highlight for me.
No, that season 7 is probably my favorite. Even though it doesn't have it has that arc like that I don't like. Some of the standalone episodes I think are some of the strongest string of episodes.
Yeah, like I can believe that. Like there is a lot of really good stuff. There's just that Sean Juliet breakup storyline that kind of just weighs it down, and it has a not great season finale.
We could use that road.
But if you're counting the musical as part of season 7, that kind of makes up for it. Because, like I said before, I forgot to warn you about the musical because that's not really a part of season 7. That was just always its own thing, and it just kept getting pushed back. And then, like on streaming, it's just tacked on at the end of season 7, even though like chronologically that's not where it takes place. So I can see why that threw you off and was weird.
The musical is wonderful though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't watched that one in a while.
It's the second best TV musical I've ever seen.
Let's try through here.
TV like show musical.
We take these guys out, steal their boat.
But we'll get to the best one.
We'll get there.
Get in our way.
I'll get to it.
What I'm thinking we'll do, because I've been thinking about it, because Buffy keeps popping up on my YouTube feed, which is why I brought it up. Because now it's on my mind again. When we get to the like season 2 through 7, which are longer, if we decide to go through all of them, we'll split it up in like half chunks. Like we'll do the first 12 and then the second 12 or whatever.
Yeah, for sure that works.
I don't want to overwhelm you. Watch all 24 episodes.
And then watch all episodes of 24 for our 24 channel.
I've never seen that show.
I've never seen it either, though I do like Kiefer Sutherland.
I should, just because Cap talks about it all the time.
Yeah,
But,
it's just a weird thing that I missed.
The only time that we might have to do like an extra episode of season 2, because 13 is a much better place to leave off. I think because that's the mid-season finale, so you have to do that, big cliffhanger.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so that's one thing that did hurt the later seasons of Psych for me a little bit, is you have that really good Yang trilogy where that's, in my opinion, 3 pretty good season finales in a row. And then after that, it's like, oh, now we've kind of run out of ideas for what to do with our season finales. Like, they're fine, but they're not as good as the Yang stuff.
Yeah, they should have kept introducing new like killers that come after Sean and like challenge him in new ways.
Yeah, the last couple of seasons of the show are definitely lacking that. And like I said, season 8 is just weird because it's short, so like it just doesn't have time to get a lot done. But there's a couple episodes in there that I like, but I think it's the weakest.
Yeah, I also feel like not a lot happens because for like half the season, Sean and Gus can't even work for the SPD.
Need a hand?
Yeah, that feels like a cliffhanger status quo change when you do, like, just to shake things up when you're in the middle of a show, not for your final season.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
when
it's the
they
problem.
ended 7 like that, I was like, wait, what? That's gonna be the status quo for your final season?
Yeah, Vic's only in like 2 episodes of season 8.
Yeah. If you like Psych, you should really watch Castle.
I have seen, my mom loved Castle. Like, I've seen episodes of it, just, like, out of context. I don't know if it's something I'd ever watch start to finish, but I like what I've seen of it.
It is 5 really good seasons. And then a couple
Okay.
of seasons that kind of flounder.
I've heard, and I know what happens in the series finale. I don't know if you'd call it passable, but I just heard that they at least played it smart, where they shot like a backup ending in case they didn't continue, and then they didn't. So
We can get to the marina.
it's like
Oh,
kind of resolved.
It was fine.
You heard them right there.
The problem was the last 3 seasons of Castle is the big overarching plot for the show had already been solved. So they were going more arc by arc, like season by season storylines now,
He can take care of himself.
and none of them were quite as good. That also really suffers from the, well, they resolved the will they won't they plot, which is what kept most people watching.
You do this, I'm not saving your ass again.
And Nathan Fillion and Stanicatic hate each other, so
Yeah,
I really hope you make it.
I've heard you kind of feel that in the later seasons.
you really do.
But yeah, I don't know. And that's the difference between that show and something like Psych, where yeah, there's the will they won't they with Sean and Juliet, and that goes on a while. But like that's a subplot. Like that's a side thing. It's not what the show's built around. So just one of those cliche things that just never really bothered me, because it's not like the thing I'm there for. I'm glad they got together when they did. I was mostly happy with how that stuff played out.
Oh yeah, I like the relationship.
Yeah, no, they're both very likable. Like, I understand your criticisms of like the last couple seasons with them, but you know, I've always really liked them.
Crap.
Shoot,
Well,
that's me. Probably wondering how I ended up here.
please tell me. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's the first time I've seen a drowned death.
Oh,
Oh no!
I just lost
That
40 minutes of progress.
40 minutes. And like on the last stream, there was what, like 20 minutes between a couple of those checkpoints. Like they are really inconsistent.
Yeah.
That's insane that you didn't already get one. Now you gotta skip those cutscenes again.
Yeah, no, the main reason to watch Castle is just Nathan Fillion, but I love Nathan Fillion.
He's great. Yeah, he's great. I know people are upset that he's playing Guy Gardner because they want him as Hal Jordan. But like, he's a perfect Guy Gardner. I'm really looking forward to that.
I feel like,
That's
so
gonna be
like,
a lot of
I'm not
fun.
upset about it, but I feel like it's the ultimate troll where it's like, we got him as Green Lantern, it's not the Green Lantern we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he would have been a good live-action Hal. I think my problem is when he started voicing Hal, in a lot of those animated movies, they kind of started turning Hal into a different character. A lot of people who watch that stuff don't read comics and don't really know anything about Green Lantern. So I think it really starts with the Ryan Reynolds version, where that Green Lantern movie was obsessed with just being Iron Man.
Yeah.
And turning Hal Jordan into Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, which is not what that character was in the comics. So, just like in terms of his humor and his personality, like Guy Gardner's just a better fit for him, in my opinion. Like he'd be a good Hal. Like he's voiced Hal fine, but I think he's gonna be a lot of fun as Guy.
I think he'll be good as Guy, but I disagree. But I think at this point, because Hal should be the face of your Green Lantern franchise.
Tell her you knew.
I think he's just too old to be Hal at this point.
Yeah, no, that's right, and that's the problem. Is if you cast him as Hal back in 2011, like he would have been freaking perfect.
I don't.
With Nathan Drake, like we missed the boat. Like when did we do that 15 years ago?
We've never talked about it, but I'm actually a pretty big Green Lantern fan, mostly of the Jeff Johns run.
Oh, okay.
But I'd like to read more because I really do like Green Lantern, and like Hal Jordan is my favorite Lantern. The problem with the New 52 movies isn't that Nathan Fillion makes him into a different character. It's that he's in those New 52 movies. He's in those New 52 movies, which all sucked ass.
Yeah, like most of the ones he's in just aren't good.
I have the first two trades, or not trades, omnibus of the Jeff Johns run, and dude, that's some of my favorite like DC comics. It's so
I need to read it. I think I've read Secret Origin. Read one or two of stuff, but Jeff Johns was the big one who was really pushing and kind of turning him into more of a Maverick type.
He was always that though.
Not really. Not that's the problem. It's like the Hal Jordan stuff that I know is more of like the Silver Age stuff, and the Green Lantern, Green Arrow stuff, where that's kind of what I think of as Hal. So he did shift his personality a bit in recent stuff. But like I said, I haven't read a lot of that stuff. But the movie in particular was definitely like we are trying to make him Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, and it's not working.
And this is going to be a hot take. I don't hate that movie.
I don't hate it either.
I actually think Ryan Reynolds was a really good casting. It's just the script is all over
Yeah,
the
and
place.
Yeah, no, he could have been fine. Yeah, it's just a nothing generic script. I was very hyped for that movie when it was coming out.
I even bought the Blu-ray so I could get the Sinestro Corpse kid for Arkham Asylum back in the day.
That's awesome. I forgot that was thing. I got the special DVD that came with a ring, and I still have it. That lights up.
I still to this day will say if you just remove Parallax from that movie's at least
a little better. Yeah.
2 times better.
Nothing
drastic.
Just bad.
Only a couple days.
No, he's just generic. They should have just
no one's favorite Green Lantern villain.
They should have just done Sinestro.
Yeah, I'm really torn because Sinestro's like, I actually like Sinestro, but that's the quintessential just evil version of the good guy, which is what every superhero movie was at the time. So it's like I want to give them credit for doing something different with Hector Hammond, but
But to be fair, though, put yourself back into 2011. That wasn't the standard yet.
Yeah, it was definitely starting to be.
It was, but you could have squeaked by on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still before Ant-Man and movies like that. And Mark Strong was just perfect cast. Like, he has some of the best scenes in the movie where it's like, yeah, I just wish he had more screen time.
Yeah, no. And those bastards even set him up at the end.
Yep. That's an unresolved cliffhanger.
Bring him back, WB.
It wouldn't have helped the movie, and with the benefit of hindsight, it's probably a bullet he dodged, but assuming it was a better movie, I was kind of hoping Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern would pop up in the Flash movie. I think that could have been fun.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been
he's
fun,
also-
but I didn't ever anticipate them actually doing that.
Yeah, and I get why Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to revisit that. And apparently, like, he was considered for Justice League, and I don't know if that would have been a good choice, but I mean, it would have just been a cameo. That ended up being the Martian Manhunter cameo.
Oh, like the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, but but this was like way back in the day. I've heard conflicting stories, but I don't know if they offered to him or considered him, but at one point he was being considered as the Green Lantern who pops up at the end, and then they decided to do Jon Stewart instead and actually shot the scene with the guy.
Okay.
That was never included, and then they finally decided on a Martian Manhunter. But I've at least heard that Ryan Reynolds was considered for that cameo. I don't know if he was actually offered it or not.
Through here.
I don't know if that would have been a good choice, but
I don't think
It
he
is
would
what
have
it is.
taken it anyway, because he had, first the Snyder Cut, because he had Deadpool at that
Tell me
point.
about it.
yeah.
Let me see.
Listen, I'm sure she'll tell you about it when she...
Yeah, no, we need to talk more Green Lantern stuff all the time because that's my dad's favorite superhero. How like he's always been a Hal Jordan guy.
Yeah, I need to read more 70s stuff. Like, I love Green Lantern, but I love that, like, specific run of Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, and have you read New Frontier or seen the movie?
I feel like I saw the movie at one point, but I would need to revisit it.
Yeah, I think that has a really good Hal Jordan.
I've read Emerald Twilight.
I don't think I've read that.
That's the one where Hal Jordan goes crazy and kills all the Lantern Corps.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Yeah,
It
because
was-
that's why John's run exists, to retcon that out of
Yes.
existence.
Yep.
But you
That's
know,
why
it
it's
is a
retconned.
beautiful retcon.
Yeah, retcons can be successful.
Yeah, you just have to do it right.
No, it was just breaking my brain because for some reason I got that confused with the first movie, the Green Lantern First Flight, and I was like, "Wait, are you talking about that?" What? Like it was. I was having a moment. I think
No,
First
that's-
Flight's all right, but I haven't watched that one in a long time.
That's the that's also where Kyle Rayner comes in.
Yeah, that's true. I like Kyle Rayner. It just sucks that he kind of forever gets the shaft now.
I haven't. The only thing I've read with him in it is the new 52 stuff, where he becomes the White Lantern, which I thought was a little silly.
Yeah, I mean, my big Green Lantern like comic event was Blackest Night. Now that was my jam.
Hell yeah! And we could bend the rules a little bit and talk about that, because Batman shows up for like half a second.
He does. I haven't read that in ages, but I was really
I
into it.
haven't either. The only reason I paused my read through of the Jeff Johns stuff is because the second omnibus, like half of it is Blackest Night, but I want to get the actual Blackest Night omnibus that has all the tie-ins.
Yeah, I have a ton of those tie-ins in single issues.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah, I have like 2 long boxes full of just Blackest Night.
Oh
yeah, that was a
my
great-
god, did you see that?
These wolves, man. So trigger happy.
They're at war with this fucked up cult.
Sarah, fine. Do something.
That's it. Whenever I miss something, I do have a second screen up, so I can still catch up.
Danny?
No.
I still have
Yeah.
a screen up that's 20 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a wonderful explosion.
Motherfucker went boom.
But I do think though that they're at least finally doing what everyone asked for. Like, yeah, we're getting Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, but I mean that's going to be a side character. But the show they announced with
I'm so
Hal
excited for
Jordan
that.
and Jon Stewart, the only thing I'm conflicted on is like, God, you need a lot of money to make that work, depending on the story they're telling. I was just hoping for a movie, but we'll see. There was also that HBO Max Green Lantern show that was in development for years and didn't happen, so I'm still a little burned after that. And that also just sounded awful. And like that was gonna have Guy Gardner and a couple of the newer characters, and it was like,
Bunch of comics.
what are you doing?
Wait,
I was never excited for that Green Lantern show. Did you see who they gave it to?
Stuff. Like you, basically.
I know Abrams was involved at one point.
They gave it to Guggenheim again.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, no,
but he's already done Green Lantern and it wasn't good. No, I'm very excited for the Green Lantern because the thing is, and I think this might end up disappointing a few people. I have a feeling for that show it's going to be a very low key, like
What were you saying?
he talked about it being influenced by like True Detective.
You said she'll
Yeah.
tell me when.
So I don't think you'll get a lot of Green Lanternness
wrapped up here.
in it
I guess I don't want to
until like they finally do a movie where you can do that stuff.
I don't.
yeah, and I mean one of the more celebrated Green Lantern runs, or like what I think of, is the Green Lantern Green Arrow stuff.
Look at this
And like the
place.
start of that story, like he's depowered a little, so like that's not like a big
There's
spectacle
that Ferris
action.
wheel.
He's hoping Tommy has
thing.
some info.
So we'll see. It depends on how they do that. Like I just wanted a movie. Like for years, I'm like, just make a Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart movie. That's all I want. But we're getting a show, so I hope it's good.
I just want a Hal Jordan movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up on the Justice League cartoon, so I also really like Jon Stewart.
Well, but that's the
think he
thing.
should
At
be.
least in my experience, from what I've read of how Jon Stewart is like everybody that thinks they want a Jon Stewart like movie is basing that on the cartoon. But when you read the comics, Jon Stewart is about as interesting as mud.
I don't disagree. Like the comics haven't used him well most of the time. Like you're right. Like the cartoon is why he's popular. But like Gunn has also said like the DC AU like is, you know, gonna be an influence on the stuff they're doing. And I mean that stuff was popular for a reason. So
I mean, that's fair. Like if anybody could make him interesting, it's Gunn.
yeah,
Probably could tweak his, but I don't know. Like give Hal a due first.
yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Now,
Working on it.
But I could
That's-
still, but like, I don't need an origin either. Maybe it's just because I've seen it enough in animation. Like, I'm fine with Hal being like the more seasoned, older Lantern, and having John, like, if that's the route the show goes, of like Jon Stewart like being a new Lantern. Like, I think that's fine.
No, and I feel like Gunn is going to avoid origins for the most part. We've already got a Superman that's going to be already like is already Superman. We've got an older Batman. Guy Gardner already exists. I can't shoot. God damn it. Jesse, get him off me.
Hey, I got one!
I don't hear anything. Is that it?
Yeah.
So, granted, it probably wouldn't have been done well, but back when I was actually enjoying the CW DC shows, they kept teasing Hal over and over again. I just wanted him in that show, just as a guest recurring character. I think they could have made that work.
See, I never read that as them teasing Hal because I know exactly what you're talking about. But they were really obsessed with the idea of Diggle being Jon Stewart.
Yes, that comes later. That starts with fan theories like, hey, this guy's named John, and there's a Green Lantern named John. He could be Jon Stewart. Like, that's
Yeah.
where that starts.
Yeah, and then they went back to huffing glue.
Yeah, and then they just dropped that in the most bizarre way possible. But no, like there's a couple of Hal like cameos. They reference Ferris aircrafts a lot. Like there's an episode in like was it Flash season 2 or something where there's like a guy in a bar wearing a jacket that says Jordan on it. Like they were.
Wait, I remember that now.
Yeah. I don't know. At the height of those shows' popularity, Flash and Arrow, I think it could have been cool to have Hal just like as a guest character, like in both of those shows interacting. Like,
The problem
like,
is
could
I
have been
don't trust
cool.
them to do do anything cool with it. Be just the most obvious. Like, I really like the color green, man.
Yeah. I mean, Green Lantern on television, it's just like a thing that's yet to be attempted. So like we have nothing to compare it to. We just have a not great movie. So we'll see, but I'm just glad something Green Lantern related was announced.
Yeah, now give me a good Green Arrow movie.
Yeah. Or a miniseries. Like, Green Arrow is one of those characters that, you know, if you don't like the Arrow show, that's fine, because that's a completely different character, but I think that's just a character that translates better to television than a movie.
Well, you know, I've always said
Assuming
it's
it was
kind of a
done
sad
well.
state of affairs when the best adapted Green Arrow is Smallville.
Oh, yeah. Smallville was like what got me into Green Arrow, though. I was like, I really like this guy. I thought they
Grab
made
the
him
med
cool.
kit, Ellie.
This way!
Oh, let's go faster.
Okay, now that's it.
But no, I'm the same. Like, Justin Hartley's Green Arrow is what made me interested in him,
I think you're
in
right.
that character.
And he's good in the. I like the Green Arrow on Justice League Unlimited. That's a pretty authentic
Yeah,
70s
it's
Green
alright.
Arrow.
Yeah, he's alright.
He also gets a pretty good episode in The Batman. And Hal Jordan gets an episode in The Batman. We'll probably watch that at some point.
I mean, that final season is just the Justice League season.
Yeah, well, it's also like a proto Brave and the Bold, which is what I find kind of interesting about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't there?
And I mean, Kyle Rayner in the DCAU like was basically a combo of Kyle Rayner and Hal. Like, if you ever seen his episode of Superman, like it's just the Hal Jordan origin. So it's just one of those composite characters. But he was pretty likable. And then he gets like one episode at Unlimited. So I mean, I like Jon Stewart a lot, but that's the downside is like, oh, Kyle does get a bit shafted.
Yeah, I legitimately didn't realize it was Kyle at first when I was watching that.
Yeah, although they do a time travel episode where they do a Hal Jordan cameo, that's pretty fun. When I was a kid, I did the point at the screen DiCaprio meme where I was like, oh, it's Hal. Like they gave him a little cameo in one episode. It's nice.
That's awesome. You know,
I think there are.
Tim loved doing that. Like his Tim Drake is just Jason Todd's backstory.
Yeah.
He even gets his
Yeah, I
own
mean,
death of the family moment, or in the family.
Oh yeah. It's just somehow just as messed up and dark. It's just in a
Arguably
different.
more so messed up. He survived.
Yeah. Especially when you watch the PG-13 cut. And the cut I grew up with, it was like, oh, okay, you just gave him just the thing, and then you watch the PG-13 cut, you're like, oh god, like, he tortured that kid for weeks.
Yeah, and then they tried to do that in Arkham Knight,
Yeah,
and it was lame.
Think you can get through there?
and Dark Knight Strikes Again.
And it was lame.
What is it with us torturing rabbits? Leave the kid
Look.
alone.
We're back at the bookstore.
I would have come, you know, if you told me you were leaving.
I didn't think you'd be okay with all this.
I looked up
No.
at Joel.
But I don't know. I think though we've more like, yes, a lot of those new 52 movies suck, but I think we have done right by Hal, at least in animation right at this point. Like I said, he gets an episode in the Batman. He gets a couple of good episodes in Brave and the Bold. New Frontier I like a lot. Like we've done some good stuff with Hal. I think First Flight's okay.
Have you seen that newest one that they did by John Semper, Beware My Power?
That I've heard was bad.
It is so bad.
I have the Blu-ray, and
So
that's
what if we took Emerald Twilight, combined it with Secret Origin, and made it Jon Stewart's origin story instead of Hal Jordan's origin story?
sounds like a recipe for success.
I love Spider-Man the animated series, but John Semper is he's the person, all right.
Well, it's just funny now though, because like all those movies are on HBO Max, and I could watch them like any time, and I'm like, I'll get to them eventually. But I'm past that point of like, okay, I can't keep buying these Blu-rays to movies I'm not watching. I need to watch these on streaming and see if I like them first. And that's the last of those I bought and still haven't watched. And there's a whole bunch on streaming now, but they've also done that weird trend. I think we've talked about this before, where it's like every movie is like, okay, now let's take a hero character and make them a villain. And it's just a weird running gag that they're doing now. But now they're ending it with Crisis, so whatever.
But none of the movies have let's take a hero and turn him into a villain. Not the animated ones.
I mean, like, I haven't seen it, but didn't the Legion of Superheroes movie do that?
I don't think so.
Wasn't Mon-El like a villain in that?
I watched it, but this shows you how memorable it was. I don't remember.
And then,
This way.
I think I heard that Warworld did that, but I haven't seen Warworld, so I don't know.
Warworld is 3 like shorts combined into a movie.
Turns around a block instead of just turning left.
Okay.
I'll get to it eventually.
Walks around this area.
It's fine. I don't know. Man of Tomorrow and Long Halloween really good, and then that line just like took a nosedive.
Oh, and Justice Society World War II. I didn't really care for that one, and that had Aquaman as the big bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll give you that one. No, World War II, the Justice Society was so lame. And I was so excited given the concept.
Like the Justice Society. I was looking forward to that movie. Yep. Now, I have generally heard good things about the Green Lantern Earth 1 comics. Have you checked those out yet?
Just the first one. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard they do different things, but like it's still Hal. You know, that one sounded interesting.
Yeah, it's very classic sci-fi-ish. Very different. Gotta step out from under the car, dude.
Fuck! God damn it! Trespasser! Drop the
Well, damn it. Why can't I never remember his name?
Jesse.
Jesse. So much for the quiet method.
Where'd they go? Make a grid. Sweep the area. Find him, quick!
Might have hurt them.
I'm on it.
Yeah, and the one that kind of disappointed me, I need to give it another shot, was the Green Lantern Emerald Knights movie. I didn't care for that one on first viewing.
I don't remember if I've seen that or not.
That's the Green Lantern anthology they did, where it's Hal's in it, and it's Nathan Fillion. He's like in the first segment and the last segment, I think, but it's mostly an anthology of like just alien Green Lanterns that I don't care about. So
Okay.
it didn't really do it. Like if I did a Green Lantern anthology, like I would want a short with John, I would want a short with Kyle, or one with Guy. Like those are the characters I would do, not a bunch of alien characters I don't care about.
That's probably why I don't remember if I've seen it or not.
Yeah, it was also really counterintuitive because that was another one where Sinestro's in it, but he's not a villain. He's just a Green Lantern, and it's like, really, we're doing this again?
And again, and again, and again, until we're both dead.
Is that what you want?
Yes. I mean... This game wants me to hijack the boat. It's gonna need to give me some goddamn ammo. Give me the goddamn.
Just remember to not drown this time.
Peru. Found a piece of paper to Jules. Like psych Jules?
Yeah.
Oh, I know people. I saw people were disappointed with it, but I really liked the Bruce Campbell episode. Speaking
I
of
was
psych.
gonna ask you about that one. I think that was fine.
It was fun.
I think it's
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun.
It's definitely not as good as a lot of their previous horror episodes, but I still think it's a good time. My favorite bit in that, and it doesn't make any sense because it's a dream sequence, but I don't care. It's when they're doing the Texas Chainsaw bit where like Gus is in the house, and it's like there's clearly a porno on the TV, and he's just like, acting's terrible. Like it's such a weird, I don't know where bit, but that made me laugh. And it does feel like an episode that's just kind of like, we've kind of run out of ideas. We're just gonna do some horror skits.
Yeah.
Here's a Living Dead part. Here's a Nightmare on Elm Street part. But I think it's entertaining enough.
Yeah.
I did like Bruce Campbell that episode. Buy my new book. In dreams, I walk with you.
I love that little reference.
And I think that was like a year before Ash vs. Evil Dead started. So
You can tell because he kind of looks like he did in season 1.
yeah, and yeah, I don't remember if I knew about the show coming out yet, but it was just like, it's Bruce Campbell. I'm seeing this guy in something again. This is exciting. Again, like back when it first aired, and then like a year later, I have Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is amazing.
I'm so excited to do something on that eventually.
Yeah, that is.
One of my favorite
If you
shows.
if you ever have the time to just do a commentary binge of the whole first season, I mean, I would do that with you.
I would so be down because that only takes what, like 5 hours.
Yeah, I mean they're half-hour episodes and it's like 10, so
I don't know if Noah would
it's
want
not
to do
huge.
it, but if it's just me and you, I'm fine with that.
No, that's always a fun. It's a very rewatchable show.
Yeah,
It's just
well,
a good time.
let's put that on the back burner of things to do soon-ish. Because, like I said,
That
even if
pilot,
it's just me and you, I would be down.
that pilot, I've probably watched like at least 7 times.
I've seen that first season like 8 or 9 times at this point.
Yeah, that's a show that definitely has problems in seasons 2 and 3, but I'm still having a good time. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
But you know, like some of that behind-the-scenes drama and shakeup, like you definitely feel more of the writing in seasons 2 and 3, and like plans shifting and changing. But it's still a really watchable show.
Season
And I
3 is
think some
probably my least favorite, but like it also just like I can watch it. It's watchable.
that episode in the school is pretty great.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that would be a boss they would add to the game. Was the mascot, like the cougar guy, who becomes a deadite. I thought he looked really cool.
I'm still so sad about that game.
Yeah, yeah, that's just the state of the franchise.
It was so good. At least they added Mia.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that at least. That was cool to see.
Although it's kind of funny, there's this like disconnect between playing as Mia against like the original kind of Deadites that are goofier.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get like a boss that's just like the deadite from the end of that movie, just to work in some more deadite stuff from Evil Dead 2013. And I'm kind of shocked, like they didn't add any characters from Evil Dead Rise, right? Like I'm sure that was planned.
No, they probably were going to, but then I don't even know what happened, like why they decided to end support. It felt like they just didn't want to try anymore.
Yeah, but like say what you will about Evil Dead Rise, I like that movie, but everyone agrees that like that has like one of the best deadites in the whole franchise as the main villain. It would have been perfect for that game.
She's really good. I've always described that movie as 2013, but with a stronger overall cast.
That's probably fair. I like the protagonist in Evil Dead Rise. I think she's fine, but I do prefer Mia.
I also
In
prefer
2013.
Mia, but that's all in the character, or like in the performance, not on paper. Mia's just kind of person.
Really, I think she's a little more interesting. The setup's really good with just like her drug addiction and
Yeah, but they didn't do enough
lying
with
about the
it.
cabin. I thought they did enough.
No, I like Mia, but I like that actress just in general.
Yeah, she's very popular.
She's really good in Castle Rock.
Is that still going? I missed that.
No, it only lasted 2 seasons, unfortunately.
I don't know. I remember when it was coming out, but I don't know what like the general consensus on it is.
No idea. I didn't watch season 2, but
Any ideas?
season 1 was really solid. It's kind of just like, let's take a bunch of Stephen King things and mash them together.
Yeah, I remember.
He plays Jackie Torrance. Her uncle went crazy in a hotel.
Ah,
Get it?
I know that thing.
I think Abby picked the aquarium on purpose because it's so damn hard to get to.
Maybe.
I am shocked that this isn't a checkpoint. It was
Yeah.
absurd.
Like, what the hell?
Jesus.
It's very inconsistent.
How the hell are we crossing this?
We could use that road. It's pretty fucking far.
Or we use that.
Yeah. That's better.
Come on. This way.
Yeah, at some point we need to just do an Evil Dead month.
Commentaries, yeah.
Because how much Evil Dead have you actually covered on the channel in terms of both reviews and commentaries?
We've reviewed the first movie. Hang on. Sorry, chat. Now I'm curious. I know we did we've reviewed the first movie. The very first video I ever did with the channel, like with my very first co-host who helped start the channel, was Evil Dead 2, but that was less of a review and more of just like talking about the making of the movie.
Gotcha.
So we would definitely need to do a review.
It's objectively the best movie ever made.
I mean, it is my favorite movie. Yeah. So we've done an Evil Dead, the Evil Dead, a review and a commentary, and a review for Evil Dead Rise. So we've still got plenty of. Oh, and I talked about one of the comic adaptations that was really weird.
Gotcha.
So that comic is like a telling of the first movie, but then the ending is that Ash wakes up
Definitely take
in the car with Linda,
It's up to them if
and
they
they're
want
heading
that
to
way.
the cabin. And the whole first movie was just a dream, and then they're starting
Okay.
Evil Dead 2.
Kind of a premonition.
He somehow made up a sister, a best friend's girlfriend, and exactly what was going to happen to him before he got there.
This is wrecked.
I mean, it's evil magic, premonition stuff.
I don't know. That just seems like a silly way to try to explain the remake portion of Evil Dead 2.
You are correct. That movie's kind of fascinating because I've always, maybe it's because Evil Dead 2 is just what I watched first, and it's just like what I think of when I think of Evil Dead. But I've always seen that like, oh yeah, like that's a remake. And knowing the backstory on it, it's like, no, it's because they didn't have the rights to the first movie and they couldn't like just use footage or whatever. So they always refer to the first act of that movie as just a recap. And I'm like, oh, that's such a weird way of, because it's
weird.
like,
This way. Come on.
it would be one thing if it was just like an opening like 5-minute montage, right? Like what Army of Darkness does, even though not everything lines up. But
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's the first 20 minutes of that movie.
Oh,
It's just a remake of the first.
I'm glad you said that. We have also reviewed Army of Darkness because we had Dan on for that.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I love Army of Darkness. That'd be a fun commentary.
It's my least favorite of the original three, but it's like when you make some of the greatest movies ever made, the least favorite is still great.
We hold here. Wait for orders.
Yeah, I think I prefer it over the original, but like that's just a taste thing.
We'll have more than enough people.
Yeah, and I prefer
Yeah,
the
like
original.
the original's great. At some point, because I'm sure fan edits exist out there, but at some point I'm gonna have the time and dedication to doing just a super edit
That would be
of
awesome.
Evil Dead 1 and 2 into one movie, because I'm sure other fans have done it. Because Bruce Campbell has always like said, like, I don't know if you've seen that interview, that clip where he's like, okay, so you just take the end of Evil Dead 1 when the demon jumps at him and he screams, and then you just cut to Evil Dead 2 when he's like spinning through the forest, and is like possessed briefly, and it's like, I need to attempt that and see how well it works, because I always misremember thinking like, yeah, but there's still stuff that doesn't make sense. I always forget that the Necronomicon in Evil Dead 2 completely disappears after the first 20 minutes. I always forget that.
Who else is it gonna be?
Oh, yeah.
they have the pages, and the dagger become the MacGuffin. But the book completely disappears, and I don't know if you know this, but they actually shot a scene where he burns the book. That's like a recreation of the end of the first movie where he burns it, but that was cut out. So in the final cut of Evil Dead 2, like that book just disappears after like the first 20 minutes. And it's something I never noticed.
Yeah, you're right.
I really hope you make it.
No, we got to do some Evil Dead commentaries.
And that show's just like the best example of
You can go
like
home
Evil.
again.
Yeah, as Eric said, and like Evil Dead 4 just never happened, and now we have 3 seasons of a show. Like, it's insane that we have that much stuff with Ash now, and I love every second of it.
Yeah. I love me some Ash.
I've been antsy for this attack, and now we're just in this holding pattern. Fucking let them keep picking us off? Come on.
One of the best Scream Kings.
One of the only Scream Kings.
Yeah, I can think of a couple, but he's probably the best.
The only ones I can think of is him and Tommy Jarvis. Well,
Yeah. Oh, I'd also add freaking Reggie the Reckless to that list from Friday 5.
that's fair, but I think Tommy takes that. Tommy still takes that over Reggie.
Sure. Well, like, there's also a difference between like a Scream King or a Scream Queen and a horror hero. Final Girl. Like, those are 2 different things, and Tommy's definitely up there as like a male horror hero. You know, like Ash.
Yeah, well, and to be fair though, Scream King or Scream Queen is usually referring more to the actress or actor.
Yeah, to the performer than the actual character.
And even then, I'd give it to the guy that plays Tommy in 6 because he's also in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, for sure. Have you checked out the fan film yet? The Never Hike Alone 2?
God damn it!
Oh, the same thing. That's a bummer.
Oh my god. I've only seen the first one. No, that's wrong. I've seen the first and second, but it's been a while.
Never Hike Alone 2 is really good. I had a good time with it. It's a good wrap up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, are you got one more in you?
Yeah, one more. That's
Yeah,
a
it's been a
long
while
ass
since
trek
you've
to. The air goes away so fucking fast.
Dina? Jesse?
I was hoping to make part 10 the like halfway point, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Who are those 2?
Yeah, there's so God, it's like you'd think, because I was only half paying attention. You got past the part where her and Jesse split up, right? Like, we have seen that.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're just stealing the boat. We haven't. I'm at the part where we're stealing the boat.
Okay. Like, maybe that's the checkpoint. It just feels absurd that we haven't gotten to one yet.
Yeah, Ugh.
Like, that's a lot of gameplay.
Let's do it.
But also, I mean, part of the charm and fun of the Evil Dead series is it's very like a universal monster where it's like canon doesn't matter. None of them line up with each other, and it's fine. It's part of the joke.
Yeah, for sure.
None of them make sense and fit together. Like Ash vs. Evil Dead, like references both the first movie and the second movie.
Come on. Call me up.
Tries to make them work. And it's like it's fine. Just roll with it.
Well, yeah, and I mean the first movie has to be canon to that because Cheryl.
Yeah, and I like the stuff they do with Cheryl in that show.
Okay,
I
but
think
the
that was a
real
good
question is,
idea.
have you seen Evil Dead the musical?
I have not. Is that like readily available online, or they're just bootlegs I need to track down? Or have you seen it live?
I have not seen it live. I wasn't as big of an Evil Dead fan when that was around. But the cool thing is that also combines the first two, so it gets rid of. From what I remember, it's been a minute. It gets rid of Henrietta, but then at the end of 2 is when he faces Cheryl. Cheryl.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. And that's like the ultimate exception where we've talked before about how Bruce Campbell is Ash, never recast him. We don't want that. Obviously, a musical or something on stage is a different thing. You're obvious like that's a scenario where obviously you're gonna have different actors play Ash. That's a completely different thing. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I'm not sure which one to watch, but there are a couple of them on here.
Yeah, I should watch that. I started. I don't think I finished it. I've seen clips. Have you ever watched the pre-Evil Dead? The what was it
Within
called?
the
Within the
Woods?
Woods.
No, I'd like
Yeah.
to.
It's very short, but I think when I tried watching it, like it was in such terrible shape. Like it was almost unwatchable.
Tell her you knew.
Yeah.
Just like old crap. Like it's never had an official release, and like I know it's just like a short film predecessor to the Evil Dead, but I would. That's something I'd be interested in seeing cleaned up
Abby's hiding out there.
and given
The
a
only
proper
problem
release.
I think with that is because a lot of those are 8mm film.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's probably not a lot they can do with a lot of that.
Yeah, it's probably
If
true.
they could, it would have been awesome if that had been just like a bonus feature on
He was a smuggler.
a 4K release of like the Evil Dead.
About some goods. Fight broke out. Some of them died.
Yeah, that's one of the more rare Blu-rays I have. I got lucky with that one because everyone has the Blu-ray of that movie that just has the movie and like the commentary or whatever. But I do have the Blu-ray with the DVD bonus disc that has some special features on it. That's really hard to get.
Yeah,
But I snagged that on eBay.
I have the Groovy collection and then just the regular 4K.
Yeah, I know when the 4K came out, it had like no special features. I don't know if they added some for the Groovy collection.
I think so. I'm like 100% sure that that Groovy collection is just the already existing discs, but in fancier packaging.
Yeah, it's fine. And I mean, the commentary alone, like the Evil Dead movies have some good commentaries. Those are worth checking out if you haven't.
Yeah, I've watched. I think the second one with commentary. And then like Scream Factory does that too. Like they're the Blu-ray of Friday the 13th you get with 2009 with that big box set. I'm pretty sure that's the original 2009 Blu-ray.
Yeah, they didn't even. It's an awesome set. They didn't even change what the discs look like. Like that disc sticks out like a sore thumb, where it's like, oh, that's obviously a 2009 Blu-ray font. It's fine.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're going through a lot of their people. In their city.
That movie is still
They did.
pretty good.
Didn't Abby and her friends come to
Yeah.
Jackson 'cause of something
It's a good time.
This place
It's
isn't
kind of the
like
perfect way to reboot that movie
Joel
franchise.
and Tommy helped Abby when
Yeah.
she got attacked.
Now we're just at a crossroads where it's been so
They shot you on
long,
sight, didn't they?
and we're finally maybe getting a reboot again, but it's like, now what do you do? Because ideally we would have just gotten a sequel to that, which I wanted, but,
Fuck
you know,
it,
that's like 15 years ago
Not
now,
impressed.
so,
You don't cross.
I mean, we'll see what the show is and how that turns out, but I just want a new Jason movie, and
Honestly,
We'll see
I
how
don't
they
even
approach
think you
it.
need to worry about a reboot or continuity. Just make a Jason movie.
yeah. And do one set in the winter. I really want a winter set
Yeah.
Jason movie. I want a winter camp, like a Never Hike in the Snow.
Remake Jason Takes Manhattan, you cowards.
Yeah, do it better.
Give me a hand.
I do know that it was either the writer or the director or somebody on Jason Lives at one point was pitching like a legacy sequel to that, and that was going to be set in the winter. I don't know if they need that, especially since I have the Never Hike Alone movies now with that guy back as Tommy. So it's like, I already have closure for that. Like, that's not something I need, but I mean, he had a
Those
good
are
Jason
movies we
movie.
should do commentaries on.
Yeah, sure. We can do them all back to back.
Commentary marathon. Let's go.
Yeah. Never Hike Alone 2 is just this weird experience where it's a little overly ambitious. Like, there are some effects and things that aren't great, but also, and some actors that aren't the best, but it's also Friday the 13th. Like, most of those movies don't have great actors. Or the best.
No, I mean, when the low
Because
bar is
sure.
that one woman from Friday 3. Everyone's dead.
Oh god, she's so
Jealous.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like I said, I like Never Hike Alone 2 a lot. There's just this weird mental barrier you have to get past where it's like, oh, I'm watching a fan film. This isn't a real movie, but it's also, like, arguably probably better produced than still most of the actual Friday the 13th movie. It's just this weird mental hang-up I have, but I still do really like it.
I don't buy into the like real movies versus fake movies. If I'm watching a motion picture, it's a real movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll take it over nothing. Like, it's solid.
Yeah. Have you seen that Jason versus Michael fan film?
I haven't seen that. There's been a lot of recent Jason fan films I need to check out.
It's all right. I mean, it's what all good versus movies are, where it's just an excuse to see these two characters fight.
Hey, Faith.
You sound like them.
Yeah, I wish we got more of that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that trailer for that new movie coming out?
I think it can.
It looks like it
Yes,
could be
I
cool.
have seen that trailer for that new movie.
You know, the movie with the pictures
The motion
and that one
picture.
actor in it. No, I saw this trailer in the theater when I was going to see Late Night with the Devil. In a Violent Nature. Have you heard of this?
No.
I think this is going to be another one of those limited release theatrical movies that then goes to Shudder. It looks pretty cool. It looks very Friday the 13th, except the whole movie's from the killer's point of view. But like, it's just a discount Jason. So the trailer is cool. It's like, this will either be cool or really artsy and boring. It definitely looks brutal. Like, it looks gory. But it's a movie that could go either way. But it has my curiosity.
First it had your attention, now it has your curiosity.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, In a Violent Nature, like it's a pretty cool trailer, and it looks like it could scratch that.
Let's look it up.
Friday
In our
the 13th
violent
itch.
nature. In a Violent Nature.
Yes.
Is a 2024 Canadian. Oh no, it's Canadian.
Oh no. We're
Well,
doomed.
apparently, it's already debuted in festivals.
Yeah, it was like a Sundance movie. I just don't know if this is gonna be like an X situation where, like, it pleases both critics and people who are into slasher movies, or if it's gonna end up being like, oh well, it's not made for slasher fans, it's made for critics for art. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Shudder as a service, but they don't have the best track record with like getting movies.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Suitable Flesh is awesome though.
I need to watch. Especially after From Beyond. I'll just be in the mood to watch that.
Get Shudder, you bastard.
Yeah.
These wolves, so trigger happy.
They're at war with this fucked up code.
The problem is when there's just tons of Shudder exclusives that I just don't care about and I'm never gonna watch.
No.
And then like 99% of the stuff that's on Shudder I can just watch on Tubi, so It's hard to justify it.
Like $5.
Yeah.
There's a few Shudder exclusives I like. Jacob's Wife was pretty good. The vampire movie.
Yeah. I think if they really wanted to boost Shudder, though, dude, if they got Mike Flanagan and they got his exclusive stuff on there, that'd be a big blow to Netflix, and I think would be a big boost for Shudder. I think that'd be awesome.
You're a little behind on the times there, my friend.
Oh.
He is no longer
This is
working with Netflix.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Is there a new one coming out, or is he done?
He
I
he
genuinely
is
don't
done
know.
with Netflix. Midnight Club or Midnight Mass, I can't remember which one was his last one. He has gone over to Amazon.
With all these posters.
Oh, okay.
Your comics.
That's interesting.
And
No, didn't he do the House of Usher?
Gathering
yes, sorry, House of Usher is his
Okay.
last one.
like you, baby.
Yeah. That sounds right.
You were born in the wrong
But
time,
no,
man.
he dropped the hypest news though. His show for Prime for Amazon is a fucking Dark Tower adaptation.
Oh, yeah. I know that's been in development hell for years.
Yeah, I guess he's taken
He's
over.
someone I would trust with that.
Dude, no, I'm so excited. He's also doing a Stephen King movie called The Life of Chuck.
Interesting.
Um,
He has a good track record with King stuff.
yeah, and he's on Letterboxd, and he actually shares like lists of everything that
Oh,
influenced
yeah.
each one of his works. And he's got one up for The Life of Chuck. It doesn't sound like it's a horror movie, so it's one of those rare like non-horror King stories. But he's got stuff like Boyhood on that list. And the only thing I know about that movie is that Matthew Lillard's in it.
Oh, interesting.
No, it has a killer cast. Life of Chuck.
Well, Dark Tower is just that weird thing where, remember, like, when the movie was coming out and the show was going to tie into the movie, but it's like that show wasn't going to get Matthew McConaughey, Idris Elba, and then it was just going to be its own thing, and then I guess that fell apart, and now Flanagan's doing it. Probably for the best.
Yeah, so the film is based on the novella that is presented in reverse order. Chuck travels backwards in time, viewing his life after dying.
Sounds like a downer.
Check out this cast, though, okay? Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, Karen Gillian,
Ooh.
Matthew Lillard, Kate Siegel, of course, David Dastmalchian, Polka Dot
Yeah, I
Man,
love that guy.
Heather Langenkamp,
Of course.
Raul Coley. So some of his regulars are coming back. Looks like a
That's
lot
awesome.
of his regulars.
Is she good in the show she did with him?
I only watched a couple episodes.
Alright.
Without Dean.
It's like, I love Heather Langenkamp. In this, she's not a great actress, but she's very likable.
I guess at some point
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to
It was a cool idea. It's just it got canceled, and I lost interest.
Yeah, that happens. That's a Netflix formula.
Well, I think part of it being canceled is it was fallout from him leaving Netflix.
Yeah, that makes sense.
look at this mess.
Remember the Millar universe they were building?
Where's that Ferris wheel?
Ooh,
Big Tommy has the same info.
Mark Millar, God, what was that show even called? His superhero show that was on Netflix?
yeah, I remember that.
Damn it. Looks like we're swimming.
No, what's really funny is what's really sad, I guess, more than funny. Apparently, Mike Flanagan is like kept harassing them about a physical release of Midnight Mass, and they won't do it.
No. They do physical releases of some stuff. They used to do it more.
Well, apparently, a lot of the stuff like Hill House that got a physical release is because that's a co-production.
Mm.
That's also before Netflix started bleeding money.
Yep.
Where now?
They better put a Stranger Things release out when that show finishes. Just give me a box set with all 5 seasons.
Yeah. I want it, but they don't want you to unsubscribe. They want
Which
you
is
on
so
Netflix
silly.
forever.
Just so silly, because it's like, when Stranger Things ends, I'm not going to keep a subscription to rewatch Stranger Things.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to announce a release date so we can get started on our Stranger Things videos.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down.
Maybe we should just start it so we're prepared with season 5. The only one that's going to be tough to tackle is 4, because those episodes are so fucking long.
Yeah. I mean, that's a show I know pretty well, though. Like, the first few seasons, like, I've watched through at least a couple times, so
Same.
it's definitely a show I know well.
The only
4
one-
is a bigger commitment.
The only one that I know first really well is 3, because that's my favorite season.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
I'm an unabashed Steve fan, and that's his best season.
Yeah, that season has good stuff for him.
He deserves it after the shit that happened in season 2.
Yeah, but he's great in season 2.
He is, but it makes me so angry.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just the him and Dustin stuff in season 2.
It's so good, yeah.
It's just my favorite of that show. It's gonna be really interesting to see where those actors go once that show's done.
I feel like Joe, the guy that plays Steve, has a pretty solid career as like a character actor. Plus, he's a musician. I don't know if you've heard his band.
Oh, I have not. I do not know this.
I'll have to send you some of his stuff. It's all right. It's not like really my thing, but like it's fine. I can't think of a single good thing that Natalia Dyer has been in other than Stranger Things. Millie Bobby Brown seems fine being in Netflix shit.
It's getting her money, so respect that.
I don't know about the
Right in that way.
Finn Wolfhard has probably the most promising career.
Go Team Jackson.
Yeah, he's the one who like blew up. Where it's like, oh, you're in an '80s adjacent property. We're putting you in that. Like, he got the It movies. He's in the Ghostbusters movies. He's doing good. Like, he is right in that wave. Well,
Yeah. I
it's
feel
that
like
tricky thing where, like, they should stop, but also like, yeah, you could see him ending up in like a superhero property or something.
yeah. I'm not sure what will happen with the kid that plays Dustin.
Yeah, I hope he gets something good because he's great.
And then it seems like at least online sentiment isn't very strong towards the kid that plays Will. Apparently, he said some stupid shit online.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Will
he's
Will
so
is
young, and I
Yeah.
don't think we've hit the threshold yet of like, oh, you know,
Let's see.
it's just, it is what it is.
No, I agree. But Will is also the most non-existent character in that show. Season 2.
Yeah, I like the stuff with him in 3 a lot. It just doesn't get to go anywhere. He has a couple really good scenes in 4. It's just, I love 4, but obviously the main problem with that season is just we just have too many characters.
And his like that whole half of the subplot is pointless.
I looked up the Joe.
Yeah, you get a really good scene with him and Jonathan. I like
Yeah.
some of that stuff, but
I
I
also still
thank
like
God they let
Jonathan.
him. Yeah,
I liked you a lot.
thank God though. At least he has a nice haircut for the next
I
season.
think I had a crush on you.
Thank God.
For now.
No, Will. I think that's like some early photos that they've released. That they've given Will a real haircut. It's like, thank you.
Yeah, but then you go and watch and he's gonna have like an even worse bowl cut.
I know.
Messed up. Put in fungus in the kids section.
Mushrooms didn't exactly carry the same meaning back then.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're back in the bookstore.
Yeah, battle ghosts. It's about these.
And David Harbour is
scientists
just
fighting
David Harboring it up.
alien ghosts.
Yeah, I think he'll have
He's
a
doing
good
good.
like B-movie career.
Sound like something you'd like.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be in the DCU. He's Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, and the animated thing.
Yeah, I mean we'll see if it happens, but they have said like, oh yeah, like that's one where he's gonna be a voice in that, but then we'll also play the character in live action. I think that's gonna be pretty cool
The root
if
Oh,
we get
that'd
there.
be cool.
about this boy who turns into a forest.
He's been in the MCU and the DCU, folks.
To keep things fresh, though, my
Yep.
mom would improvise it.
He was also a Hellboy.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
Boy just let the whole village. Well,
No,
I haven't seen it.
unironic. Oh, I love that movie.
You're the one.
let's get
Me and Austin, we are the ones. Okay, I want
haven't
anyone
seen
to
it.
explain to me how they can hate a movie with a giant Scottish pig.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks.
No, I think that movie's a lot of fun. It's not, but I have a lot of Hellboy hot takes. Like I don't like Hellboy 2 like at all. And that's the one everybody loves.
I mean, the new movie they're doing sounds pretty cool. That's good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
But Creature Commandos is something I'm pretty stoked for, and I think the idea of like doing stuff both and having that connection between animation and live action could be neat if they pull it off. And I think that's like the right property to do it with, because that's a show where in live action it's like these are all characters who would have to either be completely CG or have extensive makeup, and it would just be a nightmare. So it's like that's a property you do animated, and then when they pop up in the movies, it's like, oh well, we'll see them in live action there. Like I think that's a really smart way of going about it.
No, yeah, that could be cool.
We all will.
Yeah, David Harbour's just interesting because everyone loves him, and he blew up with Stranger Things, and he's just like this bit minor actor for like 20 years before that.
That's how it
Who
be
just never-
sometimes.
Yeah, it took him to get middle-aged, but he got there. He's in Quantum of Solace. He's in Suicide Squad.
He's in Suicide Squad?
Yeah, you will probably remember the scene I'm talking about. Remember that infamous scene in the trailer where there's a guy with Amanda Waller who says, if Superman like ripped off the roof of the White House,
Yeah, I
who would have
remember
something?
this
It's
now.
freaking David Harbour. I didn't know who he was at the time.
No, I remember because when we watch partied that, me, Austin, and Noah, I was like, that's Hopper.
That's David Harbour. What are you doing in this movie? Yeah, he's just like a lot of just like stock government guys or CIA guys. Like that's what he is in Quantum of Solace, except that he has a mustache, so that's a little interesting. But yeah, he's just like stock nothing characters like that for like 20 years, and now he's awesome, and now he's in everything.
Reminds me of the guy that plays Captain Holt on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where he's often like a military guy or something, and then they turn that into the joke of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, and sometimes the reverse happens, where you have like a Michael Ironside, who's like this really awesome character actor, who's in a million things, and then is eventually just like, oh, we just cast you as stock military guy forever now, and that's like all you get to be cast as, and that's a little disappointing when that happens.
Don't see anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think he's in The Flash. Was he in Smallville?
Was
he
he in
Sam Lane in that?
Smallville? He's Sam Lane.
Yeah, okay. I was right. But yeah, I think he's in Terminator Salvation. It's just like, we need a stock military guy. Michael Ironside, you're hired. Though he does do the opening narration to a Late Night with the Devil, and that was pretty fun and unexpected.
Cool, I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
Yeah, it's just his voice, but it's a really cool like where they now like segment or like just talking about like this quote unquote historical event, like a documentary thing. It's a fun little bit role.
He's also Sam Fisher in Splinter Cell.
Ah,
Those are video games.
that is true.
Loved those games. I
think
suck
I
at
have-
them. But
I think I have a cousin who was into them.
my favorite was Double Agent on the 360, because you were undercover and you had to like balance your NSA trust with the people you were infiltrating, and like they would both give you objectives to do. Awesome.
Yeah, they were pretty popular for a minute.
They were. Then they killed it.
You blew it up.
You maniacs!
I just rewatched. I'm going through the Apes movies again. I rewatched the first two.
Oh, nice.
It's
I
weird.
just saw the first one for the first time last year.
Oh yeah, what did you think of it?
It was good.
Yeah.
Like,
I know it doesn't count as a horror movie, but it's definitely horror adjacent. Like, there's some messed up stuff in that movie.
I obviously, just because I have more of a connection to it, I prefer the new ones, but
Oh yeah, they're great. But,
Caesar.
So I hope the new one's good. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Same. I find that's the best way to be with anything.
Maybe.
I'm
Yeah.
never prepared to write
it's-
anything off until I see it, but
Yeah, well, even though Matt Reeves isn't involved, like it is the same writers, so that's comforting. Like it can be not as good as the last three and still be good, and I'll be satisfied. You know what I mean? Like I don't have this thing with franchises where it's like, oh, this better be as good as the best stuff that I love. Like, no, if it's just good, like I'll be fine.
yeah, no, I'm with you there.
Or we use that.
It's like,
I mean, it's the first chapter in a new story, you know.
yeah, like that's why I always said with like RoboCop 2. Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to insist that a sequel be better than the original.
Yeah, and it rarely happens. But I'm completely with you. That's just an unnecessary, like, standard to have.
So what's the plan? We take these guys out and steal their boat?
Definitely taking their boat.
I'm having
Except if
trouble.
They want to get in our way.
Hopefully it's a small crew.
But yeah, the original Planet of the Apes, though, I mean, I saw that when I was a kid, and, like, the opening crash, and then when you see what happens to the female astronaut, you're like, God damn! Like, that's so mean-spirited.
I really want to do, as soon as it's streaming somewhere, I would love to do some like
This is
Goosebumps,
wrecked.
like the original Goosebumps, not whatever shit Disney's pumping out now.
I'd love to. Goosebumps is like this weird thing that I have nostalgia for, but I've also seen very little of.
Oh,
I think I
man.
read like 2 of the books when I was a kid, and saw like 1 or 2. It's like a thing I missed, but was still like infatuated by. Like if that makes any sense. I don't know if you have any property like that where I've seen and read very little of it, but I do have a weird nostalgia or fondness for it. Or it's like it's Goosebumps. Like it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish we could just. I mean, I've heard the Jack Black movies are fun, but if you're gonna do a new
hate
show,
those
like,
movies.
all right. But if you're gonna do a show, it's like just do an anthology. Like,
I
don't know
might
why
be in
that's
the
so hard.
minority on that. I'm not sure. But those movies completely miss the point of Goosebumps. Goosebumps was always like
Wait, come on.
it had a little bit of comedy because it's still for kids, so you have to like tone it down. But Goosebumps'
Mhm.
comedy was more of like black comedy, where it's like it's funny because of how awful the situation is. That Goosebumps movie is just like slapstick.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch a lot of the Goosebumps show because it was on like Nickelodeon or something, and I didn't have cable as a kid, as like a real young kid. But man, if I still had my library receipts.
Well,
Those
it's one of
and
those shows.
Animorphs.
But I do remember seeing, like, as a kid, like the VHS covers, like the Haunted Mask, like episodes like that, or the book covers, where you're like, it's like those are like way scarier than what the actual story probably was.
My
But
favorite
definitely
as a
stuck with
kid was the Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
I mean, I remember the Cuckoo Clock of Doom,
Clock.
all that stuff. But the only one I remember reading was the Mummy one.
I don't remember at this point.
There's like 50 of them.
Yeah. No, those and Goosebumps, or those and Animorphs. I was obsessed.
Oh, Animorphs, now that I completely missed.
Oh,
That's
man.
that's when my 90s kid card gets revoked, because I have like zero. I remember seeing a couple like covers of like books, like at the school or whatever, but that's like my extremely limited exposure to Animorphs.
You bastard. Oh, then you've never seen the terrifying TV show that they did.
No, yeah, that I completely missed.
You do this, I'm not saving your ass.
When I think of Animorphs, I think of the memes at this point.
I really hope you make it.
Okay, so now we're at the scene where Jesse and Ellie split up.
Okay. Yeah. Oh god, this is so nerdy. This is Animorphs adjacent. When you were a kid, because I mean, you were also a prequel guy, growing up with Star Wars. Did you have any of the young, like Anakin books? Do you remember these at all?
Yeah, because he had that rival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
had
had-
one of them.
Same. I don't remember which one. I had one of them, and on the back of the cover, it's this weird Animorph thing where it's a picture of Jake Lloyd on the left and Hayden Christensen on the right, and there's just like this Animorph transition. Do you remember this at all?
Come on.
No,
Because that's what stuck with me. But it's
don't.
extremely dated and like, oh yeah, Animorphs, that was a thing. Like, it's cool in concept, it just looks weird because it's just completely separate photos of Jake Lloyd and Hayden, and then just them weirdly morphing into each other. But you see like the lightsaber hilt like change, like it's really weird and unnatural.
Weird.
But
Check
I'll
your,
never forget.
Discord message.
Gotcha.
Do-do-do. That that's way scarier than any Goosebumps.
That's the show's attempt at adapting the alien.
Oh.
The entire mall.
But that Star Wars book, that Anakin book, I'll never forget that because I had a weird relationship with Star Wars when I was a little kid because I only just saw like bits and pieces of different movies sporadically. Like, I didn't like sit down and watch the original trilogy start to finish until I was like 9. But it's like I knew who Anakin was, and I knew who Darth Vader was, but like I hadn't seen the whole original trilogy. And one day I was just like showing my dad this book, this Anakin book. My dad's like, "Oh," just casually is like, "Oh yeah, that's Darth Vader," and he just completely spoiled the Vader twist for me. And it was a moment. I was just like, I need to sit down and just think about shit for a few minutes. I'm like 5, and I'm like, this guy becomes Darth Vader. The fuck?
See, I remember as a kid, I was like so excited because like, oh, it's the story of Darth Vader. But then I had this like phase where I doubted myself. I was like, oh no, it's actually
what
like
are
young
those?
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, canon made no sense to me because this is well before Episode 3 came out. So it was just this weird thing of, okay, there's an Episode 1 and 2, but I think they were made before the original. After, like, I don't know. I'm 4. I'm not on the internet. None of this shit makes sense to me. I just know I kind of like it. Yeah, Attack of the Clones is the first one I remember watching on VHS at an aunt's house. And just seeing bits and pieces of the original trilogy, like on TV or whatever. And I had the toys. Like, I inherited some toys from my dad from back in the 70s. I inherited some toys from my older brother. It's like, that's like merchandise that I just grew up with. So it's like, I definitely grew up with Star Wars. There's just this weird hodgepodge of stuff. Where it wasn't until like around when Revenge of the Sith was coming out when I finally like watched the original trilogy like start to finish, and I was like, "Wow, he's great."
Nice.
Find her and bring her down.
Where the hell's the boat?
Gotta find the boat.
She got away. She can't have gone far.
The boat's like outside, like past the big, like structure you're looking at.
Oh.
But
Wait. No?
I think you gotta climb up. There's like an escalator or something you gotta climb up. You gotta get to one of the higher levels, I think, to get over there.
Get to the high ground.
He who controls the high ground wins.
Oh wait, you know what? I remember that escalator now. Take that.
Yeah. I think there's gonna be a lot more guys up there. Be very, very quiet. This is a pickle.
We found it! Right here!
Shoot.
Don't let her get away!
Oh man.
Down! Heads up!
Alright, you little bastard.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you gotta stop going in prone, man.
Wait a minute, that's the
Where-
boat.
Yep. That is a boat. Just don't know if you're gonna get shot at. Don't drown, don't drown.
Ellie, get out of the water. Coming my way?
At least this area's been pretty generous with health.
True.
Find where she's hiding. Think that was her? I'll go see what's up.
We do a little trolling. There were still pieces of him in the air.
Where'd she go? Don't let her escape.
I got her! By the counter! Jorge! Please. Please.
Um.
Take it easy. Just you wait.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thought I was gonna die there for a second.
Boat.
Yeah, definitely get all the supplies you can.
Nice.
Hate driving this damn thing.
Steady.
Little river adventure.
Okay. No one's following.
Ice cream.
Right.
Finally.
Oh, was that the checkpoint?
Yeah. So actually, I think we're just gonna call it there. Not
Woo,
to spend
progress.
2.5 hours on one section. God damn. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I will be back Saturday, hopefully, to do Telltale's The Walking Dead 400 Days. We'll be back tomorrow to do a review of From Beyond. Sorry for not a lot of progress today, but we'll get there. We're getting there slowly but surely. I'm really enjoying the permadeath, even when it pisses me off. But as always, it's been a pleasure and an honor to play The Last of Us Part 2 for the stream. And we'll see you guys next time.
That'd be